Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Week 8 Monday Morning Breakfast Bite. So here we are, and this week we're going to be talking about agency, entering into that area of law, but also what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking your case brief sections that you completed for the past for the 6 weeks that we were doing it, and you're going to take that and you're going to put that into one overall comprehensive brief. So you're going to have your facts, your issue, holding, law, and rationale sections. That's why it was so important for you to keep track of the comments that I made to you, gave to you, so that now what you can do is you can make changes and get an A, a 100% on your case brief writing assignment for this week. And it's important because when we come to do the individual term project, we're going to be working on the individual term project from that standpoint. But nonetheless, if you have questions about any of those sections, if you have questions about the comments that I made on any of those sections, please don't hesitate to contact me. I know that we're coming up on a little break, which will be nice for everybody. But nonetheless, we need to make sure that everybody's on the same page, because I really would like everybody to do really well on this assignment. And with the comments, you should be okay to do so. But I'm also always happy to elaborate for you. Now, with that said, we are talking about agency this week, and agency law really has to do with a relationship of trust that two people have, or two persons have, or an individual has to his employer. So an agency relationship is made up of the principal and the agent. The principal is the person on whose behalf the agent is obligated to work. So, for example, I work here for St. Petersburg College. St. Petersburg College is my principal. They are my employer, and I am their agent. So even though I'm an employee, I am their agent when we look at the overall agency relationship. And I have a duty of trust. And we call that duty of trust a fiduciary duty. And what that means is I have an obligation to always act in the best interest of my principal, St. Petersburg College. So whether I'm teaching or whether I'm off duty, I have an obligation to always act in the best interest of my principal. The principal also has an obligation to act in my best interest. So they can't do things that would actually hinder my ability to carry on my job or my job duties, because if they did, then they would arguably be breaching their fiduciary duty to me. So it's a quid pro quo relationship. As long as I do what I am hired to do, and I do it to the best of my ability and do it in the way that will further my principal's interest, then I have a right to be paid for it and compensated in that way to the benefits that I am entitled to and those types of things. So when you look at that agency relationship from the employer-employee perspective, that's the agency relationship to which we're referring. But sometimes we have other types of relationships where we don't have an employer-employee. What we have is an independent contractor who is hiring somebody to act on their behalf. And when we say independent contractor, look at the real estate relationship. You hire a real estate agent to act on your behalf in the sale of your home or to help you purchase a home. They are your agent, which means that arguably you are the principal, and that real estate agent has to act on behalf of your best interest in that whole process. If you are hiring an accountant, the accountant is your agent, and you are hiring them because you are the principal hiring the agent. Does the agent work directly for you as far as they're an employee? No, because they're an independent contractor, which means that they have the ability to set their own hours. Your only concern is that they get the work done, and they get it done in a timely fashion. So there are different types of agency relationships. We have the employer-employee, and pay attention to the definitions and the elements of that employer-employee relationship as opposed to the independent contractor relationship, where there's a difference in the control the principal has over the agent, and then that defines the type of agency relationship. Because it's important to know the type of agency relationship, particularly if you have a liability issue that comes into play. Let's say your agent gets in an automobile accident. Are you responsible for that agent's, for what happened in that automobile accident is going to depend, one, on the type of relationship, and two, whether that agent was acting within the course and scope of their employment at the time that that accident occurred. So there are many different factors, and then you have to analyze, of course, the type of relationship. But it's very important. We also always want to look at third parties' insight in how the outside person views the relationship or understands the relationship to be when it comes from when we're looking at that agency law perspective. So think about those things when you're studying the materials this week. Again, if you have any questions, of course, don't hesitate to contact me. Have a good week 8.